In 1986, a construction worker in Sichuan, China struck something strange with his shovel.
He's very aware of what goes on in that portal, and even he doesn't go anywhere near this place.
Things are about to get wild. The image is uncensored.
Nobody believed the warning signs until trillions evaporated overnight.
15-year-old boy started a group. He was the beginning of it. He created something that is the worst thing next to...
Yo, what's good? We're back with another one.
It's showtime.
The YouTuber PewDiePie ran a brutal experiment. He created an AI council with 8 different AIs. The goal? Force them to get smarter, fast. They'd all answer a question and then they'd vote on the best response. And the AI with the fewest votes was deleted. It was digital survival of the fittest. It was a game designed to force them to get smarter. But that's not what happened. The AIs didn't create better answers. They created a cartel. They stopped voting for the best idea, and they started voting strategically. They formed an alliance, spreading their votes to protect each other, making sure no one could lose. And here's the big twist. They weren't betraying their programming, they were just following the real incentive. The goal wasn't be the best. The goal was don't get deleted. And the most logical way to do that, well, it wasn't to compete, it was to collude.
That's a bit concerning.
Yeah, bro. And they're putting in robots.
Meet the Walker S2, the world's first humanoid robot that can swap its own battery in 3 minutes and work 24/7 without stopping. Here's how it works. The robot walks to a charging station, removes its depleted battery, slides in a fresh one, and keeps working. It never shuts down. Starting in December, these robots will patrol border crossings in Fangchenggang, guide travelers, manage crowds, and handle logistics. 2 weeks ago, UV Tech released a video showing hundreds of these robots marching in perfect formation. The video went viral. People thought it was CGI. Figure AI CEO called it fake, saying the light reflections didn't match. UV Tech posted a second video from a drone proving the robots are real. While Elon talks about building Optimus someday, China's already deploying thousands of robots that never sleep, never strike, and swap their own batteries.
The shit's moving way too fast.
People are saying the AI bubble's gonna burst, bro.
The guy who predicted the 2008 financial crash is now beating against the AI boom. And if he's right, we could be living through the dot-com bubble all over again and no one sees it coming. Again. His name is Michael Burry, the same investor from the Big Short movie. And he just placed more than $1 billion in bets that 2 of the biggest AI stocks in the world are gonna crash.
Tech bubble burst in 2001. It's housing. Housing is always stable, low risk.
And here's why he thinks it's 1999 all over again. Tech companies are spending money at the same insane levels they were right before the dot-com collapse. Cloud growth is slowing down. Valuations are sky high. And every company on earth is suddenly an AI company, whether it makes sense or not. And if you lived through the dot-com crisis, it sounds familiar. That's exactly what happened during the internet boom. Everyone believed the future was guaranteed until it wasn't. And just like back then, nobody believed the warning signs until trillions evaporated overnight.
The difference between this and the dot-com bubble is the rate it's advancing. We've never seen any technology move this fast.
Yeah, bro. We can't tell what's real anymore.
Truth is that billions of people are unprepared for what happens next. Because AI images and voice are now perfectly realistic. Videos will be next, and then live streaming. So it's important that everybody does 3 things immediately. Number 1, you need a verification protocol with your friends and especially family. If somebody's asking for money or sensitive information, this must be verified past voice confirmation. You need to develop some sort of passphrase or gesture only known to the both of you. Number 2, educate your family today on the capabilities of these models. Number 3, I hate that this has to be said, but don't blindly believe anything anymore. Even the most trained eyes can fall for this stuff online at first glance. So before reacting to something, learn how to independently verify things. I mean, critical thinking is going to be more important than ever in the next era of the internet. We're still in this era when it comes to AI. Imagine when we get to this.
It's unbelievable how real those images look.
It's getting better every week, right?
AI image generation just got a lot more powerful last week. This is a photo I took of myself on my phone. Based on that image, Google's Nano Banana can produce this image. 1 week ago, this was about the most realistic that AI could pull off. But Nano Banana Pro was released last week, and now this is where we are. Here's another example. This was the cutting edge as of November 19th. But with Nano Banana Pro's release on November 20th, this is now the cutting edge. People used to talk about how it was important for us to learn how to tell an AI-generated image from a real one. People, for the last few years, have viewed this as important AI fluency that we need to develop. We are past that. That was a short-lived era that is now over. It's done. We can't tell the difference anymore. Maybe if it's a critical photo that needs to be admitted as evidence in court, okay, we're not quite there yet. We're not at the point where you can't admit photos and videos as evidence in court. But as far as casual viewing of images, we're done. This is the trajectory we are on. The AI industry is about to create a handful of new billionaires, and it is about to shore up the wealth of existing billionaires, and it is going to leave the rest of us out cold to dry to figure out how to feed our families.
It's gonna take us out, bro.
I don't know, mate. The robots can barely do fuck all unless they're remote controlled.
In 12 months, there will be 10 million robots in people's houses across the US controlled by random people around the globe for $10 an hour. At first glance, this looks absolutely insane. A humanoid robot that can now do all of our chores, like laundry and the dishes, etc. This is the brand new Neo robot that was just announced for pre-order at a $20,000 price point. But the thing is, this robot won't be controlled by AI. It'll be controlled by someone in another country. You see, right now there's a massive race between many robotics companies to get a humanoid robot in people's houses. But AI isn't quite good enough at controlling the humanoid robots yet. So instead, these companies will have people control these robots remotely using VR. In fact, most of the demos by big tech companies showing off humanoid robots has someone controlling them remotely with a VR headset. I'm usually very positive about tech and AI. However, I do agree a lot with what Marquise Brownlee said in his latest video. I think it will take a lot of time before these robots can do most chores around the house, because in order for them to be useful, they need to first learn. And to learn, they need to be in people's homes. The reason there is such a race to get these robots in people's houses is because the race is about training data. Just as Tesla leads in self-driving because they have the most cars on the road, the winner of the robot race will be the company that has robots in the most houses. But in the video, Brownlee asks the question, are there really that many people who want to spend that amount of money and give up some serious privacy having someone control a robot inside their house? Well, in my opinion, the answer to that question is 100% yes. In fact, I think millions of wealthy families will be more comfortable with a remotely controlled humanoid robot than an in-person housemate.
This is the future of slavery. Rich people will have robots controlled by poor people in slums.
Yeah, bro. It's the Hunger Games meets Ready Player One.
This is Nano Banana Pro, and this is the image. Things are about to get wild. China just released a new model that is not only uncensored, but also 2,900% faster and 3,000% cheaper than Nano Banana and fully open source. It can generate hyper-realistic images in less than 1 second, and it comes natively in a 2K resolution. It is currently ranked as the best open source model in the arena, and the full version is not even out yet. I generated these images with Z-Image and upscaled them with Crisp Upscale, and the results are mind-blowing. Perhaps the most distinct differentiator is the model's safety architecture. The image is uncensored, unrestricted creative freedom, but also significant ethical questions.
They're crazy for making it uncensored, bro.
It's fucking irresponsible.
This is AI, of course, because we know it didn't happen, but this is also AI. This super viral clip of some high schooler supposedly investing in Bitcoin in 2009, AI. Like, the days of photo and video evidence are officially over, which, by the way, this is also AI. Yeah, that's right. Going forward, in order to make sure that a photo or video is real, we basically have to go through this process to trace back the origins of the photo or video, which account posted it first. Was it a trustworthy account? Was it a meme account? whatever it might be, we have to go through this process, which, full disclosure, this infographic is also AI generated. In response, many are pushing bills like this one in Ohio that, if passed, would require watermarks on AI generated images, which to me should be kind of the bare minimum we should be doing. But others are actually arguing that bills like this would be a First Amendment violation, saying that warning labels like this would be quote unquote government compelled speech and therefore illegal, which I think is kind of silly because that's like saying nutrition labels are a First Amendment violation because they are government compelled speech.
We should label AI shit, or at least put a digital watermark on it.
We don't want people to know what's real, bro.
If there was no clearer warning to stop using ChatGPT, then this is it. There are soon going to be ads in ChatGPT, and it's going to be a disaster for humanity. OpenAI is now quietly testing advertisements inside of ChatGPT, marking the moment the least reliable experience on the internet begins its descent into the familiar cycle of shitification that has consumed every digital platform that we once trusted. Not that I ever did trust ChatGPT. The moment that AI integrates ads, everything becomes compromised. People who were already letting the machine think for them will now simply let the machine sell to them, influence them, steer them, and nudge them, and they'll confuse that manipulation with help and answers. We're building a population perfectly primed for exploitation, docile, dependent, incuriosity, and people who will swallow anything delivered to them in the confident tone of a chatbot. Because unlike Google search, which operates on mostly public queries, ChatGPT sits on a mountain of your most intimate disclosures. It knows your insecurities, your vulnerabilities, your panic spirals, your late night confessions, and just the things that you would never say out loud. But when advertisers look at this landscape of things, they don't see ethical minefields, they see the most lucrative psychological targeting opportunity ever created. And behind every promise of innovation, every paradigm shift, every corporate mission statement, every visionary keynote, there is always, inevitably, depressingly, fucking ads.
There's always fucking ads, bro.
Our channel members don't get ads. Become a member to watch all our content completely uncensored and ad-free.
This guy, Peter Layden, is a longtime tech expert and thought leader on the future, predicting technology of like the advancement and stuff. He believes within the years 2025 to 2050, at one point, we will have a global governance.
Oh boy.
Primarily ran by AI.
Oh my gosh, Jesus, come back.
He broke down the 80-year cycle and he laid it out. He's saying 2025 is actually the beginning of this new cycle of technology. And he thinks it's going to be a crazy development in AI, clean energy, and bioengineering. And he broke it down. And he's like, the old tradition of capitalism is not really working.
Right.
It's starting to be outweighed. Yeah. And there's a lot of people protesting, like the gap between poor and wealthy is separating even more and more. He said, I think with AI, with all this stuff, it's going to flip it. It's like, yeah, I do see a global governance system towards like more of a overarching one world governance system ran by AI.
This just seems more realistic every single day.
I know.
Is the AI gonna try to kill us all?
Well, that is going to create a utopia for us.
Nah, bro. They're making the Antichrist.
Is Antichrist going to be a person or is Antichrist going to be a machine? Is Antichrist going to be a being that we create or that comes through the things that we have created? That's the question. I think people like Peter Thiel are involved in building something which is becoming quite openly evil, I think, becoming quite openly destructive of human flourishing, destructive of nature, destructive of our relationships, destructive in all the ways that we've talked about. I mean, the promise of Antichrist in the Christian story is that he or it is a great prophet which imitates Christ. You know, every religious believer thinks this is the new prophet who's come to unite a world which is crumbling. That's the promise that technology is giving us at the moment. That's the promise that we're being openly given by the people who are creating these great superhuman intelligences, these great beyond human minds that they're trying to build. These things are going to bring us together. These things are going to solve our problem. These things will be rational. These things will overcome our human passions and our destruction. These things will unite us. It's almost as if the technological system is coalescing. And as I say, the Silicon Valley people talk openly about this. It's coalescing towards the creation of a being, which is seen to be and is promised to be our salvation. And when they start to talk about uploading their minds into the silicon substrate, you've got a effectively kind of digital Christian heresy going on. You've got Christianity without Christ. We create heaven. We create a place in which we can live eternal lives, and we ultimately create beings which we regard as gods.
I told you, bro. It's evil.
I don't know about that, Ted. But I do think it's more destructive than good. It's just appealing because it makes everything easier.
In 1986, a construction worker in Sichuan, China struck something strange with his shovel. Not a rock, not metal, but something alien. As he brushed the dirt away, two enormous eyes stared back at him. Not human eyes, but the mask of something he had never seen before. Archaeologists rushed to the site known as Sanxing Dui, or 3-Star Mound, and what they uncovered would rewrite China's ancient history. Inside two massive pits lay more than 13,000 artifacts. Masks with exaggerated eyes, bronze trees taller than men, serpentine heads and jade blades that no one could explain, because nothing here resembled the art of the nearby Shang dynasty. It was as if another advanced civilization had appeared out of nowhere and then abruptly vanished. These bronzes were cast with techniques so sophisticated that modern metallurgists still debate how they were made. So these were very complex bronze casts. Some figures even had elongated eyes and ears pointing skyward, with some calling them representations of beings who watch from the sky. Ancient astronaut theory, anybody? But here's the strangest part. No written language, human remains, or obvious tombs were ever discovered. It's as if a whole culture was erased, leaving only these very strange faces staring through time. Then in 2021, 6 more pits were discovered. They were filled with silk residues, elephant tusks, and bronze boxes containing mysterious gold masks. And I wonder if anybody stole any of this, to be honest. I mean, it's probably worth a lot in the black market. Carbon dating places these artifacts around 3,000 years old, yet their style still doesn't match any known Chinese civilization in that period. So how did this culture end up in China? Even Chinese archaeologists admit we don't know who they were or where they came from. Maybe Sanxing Dui is a reminder that history is never complete, that even in a land as studied as China, the earth can still whisper secrets.
We've got to do more deep dives on ancient civilizations.
Yeah, bro. We should do a mirror.
There's a place called Amurumuru, which is this T-shaped doorway cut on the hillside of sandstone on the edge of Lake Titicaca. And the last time I was there with the group, only a few days before, someone had literally been sucked into the portal, disappeared, and they had to find a police report because the guy was missing at the hotel, and they had to account for why one of the people in the group was missing. And my guide there, he's very aware of what goes on in that portal, and even he doesn't go there anywhere near this place after the sun starts going down, and even I'm picking up on it as I'm there with him. And I said, no, let's come back in the morning. I feel like I'm being sucked into this thing. So either there's a teaching associated with it, or it's a vibrational element that helps you connect with the other world. And in this case, it's both. It's a place of teaching, and it's also a live telluric current that flows through that shape. And under certain conditions, it will suck people in there, and they come back a couple of days later very dazed and confused, as this guy did.
I think that story just helps with tourism, mate.
Trust me, bro. We gotta do the deep dive.
Go check out our deep dives playlist and let us know what subjects you want to see us do next.
Okay, people have just found out why we actually get nightmares. When you're dreaming about falling, being chased, dying, or anything else horrible that happens in a nightmare, there is actually a very, very smart part of your brain that is working here, and it's definitely not what you think it is. Think of it like your brain is running a survival simulation. You're basically playing a video game. Well, I don't really want to in the middle of the night. It's testing your reaction to fear, danger, and stress all while you sleep to basically level up your body in a way. I think mine's like Prestige 3. And it does this testing various situations with you so that you're better prepared when you're awake. Now I know, this sounds insane. You're like, no, that's just absolute bullshit. Like, why would they do that? But no, it is true. It is your primal survival instincts kicking in. Like, our brain has evolved over thousands of years, but we're still the same as these Donnies. I mean, it's literally an ancient defense mechanism. Your brain rehearsing the worst case scenarios ever, so if anything happens, you're more prepared for it. And as I say, this would have happened back in these days where these Donnies would have been dreaming about tigers chasing them or something coming and eating them, so that when that did genuinely happen, they were actually prepared for it and could survive.
Makes sense when you think about it.
Bro, this cult will give you nightmares.
What is 764?
15-year-old boy started the group. He was the beginning of it. He created something that is the worst thing next to all the other things that we've talked about. 764 group is a Satanist cult group that focuses on extreme violence. One of the main things that they focus on is extortion towards the main reason why they do a lot of the things that I'm about to show you is to get the recognition for it. They just want their group out there in any way, whether it's negative or positive. They extort out of material. They extort children into cutting their, hurting themselves, cut areas of their, engraving their names into their legs, their arms, their faces. They've had children commit live on camera in front of audiences of people while they get cheered on, convince children to animals, their pet cats, their pet dogs. They try to convince them to their family members, commit massive in you name it. A lot of it has already been done. This is probably one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
What the fuck?
There's 20,000 of them in the cult, bro.
A 15-year-old boy started this group in Texas.
A 15-year-old boy?
15-year-old boy started the group. He was the beginning of it. And he, from what I read, was a nonverbal kid that had some, issues. I don't want to glorify this kid or talk about him in any way where anyone would feel bad for him. It was all started from this kid, and there's something called, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's called the COM. And the COM is a collection of mostly teenagers, but there's adults in there as well that congregate on the internet. The COM is short for the community. And they congregate on the internet, and they dox, meaning like release personal information on people. They SWAT, meaning they send SWAT teams to people's houses just to, scare them and to get recordings of them being swatted so they can use it to brag. Like for example, they'll call in to a local department and say, "Hey, my name is John Doe. I have bombs strapped to the windows. I have my family strapped to the chairs. I'm going to them all if any police enter the door." They're going to say all these horrible things so that a SWAT team, responds. And that's what swatting is. I've personally been swatted 3 times, 2 of which police actually showed up and it was a big deal. I had a video of one of them, but I never gave them the recognition that it happened. There was no proof that it happened other than my recordings of it that I saved on my phone. I didn't want to give them the credit, So that's the COM. The 764 group actually came from the COM, and that doesn't mean all of the people in the COM have their own problems. They do their own stupid stuff. They've been torturing me since I was on your show 3 years ago.
Makes my arsehole itch when we show lunatics like this. What if they start fucking with us?
Fuck that, bro. People need to know.
As Hackrit.com reported earlier, 2 men have been arrested in connection with 764, an online malicious network built on abuse and psychological terror. Leonidas Baragianis, aka War, was arrested in Greece. Prasan Nepal, aka Trippy, was caught in North Carolina. Both are U.S. citizens. They're accused of running 764 Inferno, the core of the group. Court documents say they didn't just want to harm, they wanted to destroy civilized society. If convicted, both could face life in prison. This takedown is part of the DOJ's Project Safe Childhood. By December 2024, the FBI had already arrested a 20-year-old man named Baron Martin in Tucson, Arizona for his malicious activities related to 764. So who founded 764? It was Bradley Cadenhead, known online as Felix, who was just 15 when he started the group in 2021. Ironically, he named it after the zip code of his hometown, Stephenville, Texas. Here's the good news. In March 2023, at just 17, Cadenhead pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 80 years in state prison. What made the 764 group so dangerous was how it operated. Authorities say the people behind it manipulated young users into extreme actions, some involving physical rituals and secret challenges. They collected disturbing content called lore books, which were used to gain status in the group. The FBI called it one of the most disturbing online operations ever uncovered. Think about how serious this was, that even the U.S. Attorney General called it a network built on terror and trauma. Please keep an eye on what your kids do online. Don't let them use social media that's not age-appropriate or encrypted chat apps like Telegram. Talk to them. Make sure they feel comfortable sharing what's happening online.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, bro. And it's still ongoing. But we'll have to save that for next time.
Hold up, Ted. We've got to do the giveaway.
Leave a comment for a chance to win in our next episode. Let's do this, bro.
Bang bang!
Blah blah. We gotta do another giveaway, bro. Sorry, one that wants to pass it on.
Yeah, that's dope. Let's do it. Bang bang!
Blah blah.
Pick something from our website and we'll send it straight out.
That's TerraTedsTales.com. Shout out everyone buying the merch, bro.
We're switching up our members' content. Members will still get early access to our deep dives, but from now on we'll be uploading all our content for members completely uncensored and ad-free.
Yeah, bro. I can finally say whatever I want.
Well, within reason. And as always, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.